नमस्ते गुरुजी। जय गुरुजी महाराज। जय गुरुजी साथ संगत जी। शुक्राना गुरुजी महाराज द मल्टीलिंगुअल सेवादार टीम एक बार फिर आप सबका स्वागत करती है। आज बैम्बी आंटी को गुरुजी महाराज का 9th सेशन रीड किया जाएगा। सेशन को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मैं आरती कपूर आंटी जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, प्लीज सेशन को आगे बढ़ाएं। ओवर टू यू आरती कपूर आंटी। जय गुरुजी।
Namaste to Guruji, Jai Guruji to everybody, happy Lodi, love and light to everyone. So, thank you, Uncle, for giving me this opportunity because when it comes to nostalgia, I think today it is that, that feeling of immense nostalgia. I am overwhelmed with emotions, yet I think just beaming with so much joy and happiness, because I personally have looked at Bamby Auntie as a role model to me. So the way to explain this, and it was like taking a trip down the memory lane, and our association goes many decades back. So it's like when you get recruited into a firm, you have an onboarding buddy, because for every small thing you cannot go to the CEO and you cannot ask questions. And Bamby Auntie was that. She was a role model. She was a guide. She was, just somebody I could look up to, and I did, and I was so in awe of her for many reasons. A couple satsangs that come to mind. And especially, initial days when you're going to a new place, you don't know the protocol per se. There's no social media. There's no guidebook back then. There are no do's and don'ts that were handed out. Ke satsang mein, responsibilities of the host or this or that. Waisa kuch bhi nahi tha back then. So it was like, just कहते हैं ना, on the job training. कि आप आ गए हो गुरुजी के सामने. Now you're in the deep end and figure out how to swim. So we would try to look at what's happening around us and try to follow that. And what stood out and what was remarkable was and that was like fascinating to me personally. और ये सारा मैं अपने standpoint से बोल रही हूँ. I'm not talking on behalf of my father or my mother or sister. This is just my perception. That the first thing I noticed was the proximity that Auntie and Uncle both had to Guruji. Like they would talk to Guruji very frequently, be in and out of Guruji's room, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Within the first year, I want to say not even the first year, just couple months of starting our journey with Guruji, Guruji had suggested a boy for my sister. And my sister was very young. Now I finally see you. Hi. My sister was 21, and Guruji, Punjabi mein unhone unko bola, Linda auntie ko, कि ऐसे ऐसे मंजू दे मुंडे नाल गल चला और जनरल कपूर दी लड़की दा ब्याह करा दे. So everybody was very overwhelmed कि अब क्या करें, she's only 21, इतनी क्या जल्दी है. और I still remember that my mother approached Bamby Auntie कि ऐसे बेटा उनके लिए, for my parents, like both Sati and Bamby were like beta and beti, whatever, कि गुरुजी ऐसे बोल रहे हैं तो क्या करना चाहिए. And I still remember the perspective that she gave. She said that गुरुजी की जो बातें होती है ना, वो बड़ी, उनका मीनिंग बहुत गहरा होता है आंटी. और आज लड़के वाले लड़की मांग के लेकर जा रहे हैं. गुरुजी says कि आगे बहुत खराब समय आने वाला है. So just listen to what Guruji is saying, because today you may or may not understand what Guruji is saying, but the important thing is just follow his command. So that was the guidance back then. And on every little thing, जब शादी का वक्त आया और गुरुजी के लिए चोले बनवाने थे, तो who did we go to? Bamby Auntie, and she guided us कि ऐसे करना है, ये देना है. In fact, उन्होंने खुद बनवाए थे चोले. What else comes to mind? I remember this Bhumi Pujan that we had attended. Sati uncle, Bamby Auntie ne host kari thi. I don't remember the name of the place, but Guruji aaye the, and the memory I have us jagah ki ke literally when Guruji was walking. What's that? Bewari, thank you. Good to see you as well. और हम गुरुजी तेज तेज चल रहे थे और हमारी ड्यूटी लगी थी कि हमें फूल स्प्रिंकल करने हैं. So we did that, and those were moments that mattered. That those little interactions that sort of are etched on my heart forever, that today when I look back 25 years, those things are top of mind. And also the book that we are discussing or talking about today, I first read it, I want to say, maybe in 2011 or 2012. I don't remember. And I opened that book, and it was so succinct, so to the point, and something that just hit the nail on its head with no fluff and completely relatable. And one of the first books, by the way, जो गुरुजी के बारे में मैंने personally पढ़ी. And that became my go-to for anything and everything. Just you treat something like your Bible. That was the book. And unfortunately, I read it a couple times, and then someone asked me for it. Kya auntie aap de do, main wapas kar dunga. And I never got that book back, of course. But thanks to the PDF, memories refresh kar lete hain. But there's so many things. Another thing that I can recall was when my father, who's no more, but I miss him immensely, and I get very emotional even talking about him. He was diagnosed with this blockage in his arteries, and it was a random diagnosis. Like, it's not that he was suffering from any heart ailments per se. One fine day, he walks into the office because he walks into R&R because he was feeling a little uneasy. They run some tests, and they're like, oh, General Kapoor, you have 90% blockage or something like that. So again, Ramban Eki, kuch bhi news milti hai, run to Guruji. And he was admitted in the ICU that very day. So Guruji ke paas हमने जब बात करी, Guruji ने प्रसाद भिजवाया. तो उसका भी क्या मतलब है और गुरुजी ने वो क्यों प्रसाद भिजवाया था, that was unfolded by Sati uncle. So there's so many moments like these, and I think Sati uncle was the internet guru for my dad, because my dad wasn't tech savvy. तो कुछ भी उनको कोई भी information चाहिए होती थी, he would say, Sati इन्नु कड्डी या इसको research करके बताना. So I just know of those things. And another thing that is forever etched in my heart, and these are things that you don't revisit on a daily basis, or you don't have to talk at length to sort of keep it alive. It's just there because it's made a place in your heart. When I would see Natasha and Aisha run to my father as two little girls, I saw them as my two siblings and their love for Toblerone. So especially the little one, she would come running and wo jor se jappi maar ke, she would just cling on to my dad, and that love, it's like a little reel that keeps playing. So like I said, whether you keep in touch or you don't, whether you talk about it or you don't, it's just there. So so immensely grateful that I got this opportunity to host you, Auntie, and your book is a gem. Thank you for doing this seva and leaving this for Sangat like us, that we can use that as our guidebook. Immensely grateful. आप इसी तरह गुरुजी की उस्ताद करते रहो, सबका मार्गदर्शन करते रहो, and just take us closer to Guru Sahib. Without any further ado, I would like to pass the baton to my namesake, Auntie again, and she will carry us forward on this journey.
Jai Guruji, I'm grateful that I'm here, and the two women, the two Sangat that I admire so much. Maharaj has given me this opportunity. Thank you, Uncle. So I will just start right away. Relationship of a Guru and his disciple. In his early years, he would say, "Meri photo tode naal galla karegi." My photo will talk to you. After a few years, the Sangat from abroad would share satsangs of how Gurujis would talk to them as Amrit flowed out. Over to you, Bamby Auntie.
First of all, I too am overwhelmed, Aarti. It's been years. And, it's like coming home when you have somebody you know and somebody who, I can't say somebody, but Sangat, and who've gone through the experience and do love Guruji as passionately as my family does. So it's like really sitting home with somebody and talking about, oh, Guruji was like this, and Guruji did this. Can you imagine Guruji did this? Really? So yeah, thank you so much. And this was a present from Uncle. Thank you so much. It is always wonderful. This sessions, besides my own family, I have not asked Uncle, my friend, my ye, wo, sort of, it's only people who are family for me. So whoever joins in, I feel you have been asked or told or directed by Guru Sahib Ji to come. And these sessions are, like Guruji used to say, Meri asli sangat hale aayegi. So dear, we are not the asli sangat. Hale te Guruji the favorite aane ne. Okay.
There goes the bragging rights.
The bragging rights are
we
all
have these
gone.
stripes on our shoulders. Hum purani
No,
sangat hai.
Guruji knows how to put a cap on all of us. So yes, it has been faced. Yeah, piche jaake baitho, aage aane hai, sare aane.
Yes.
And it's just, but this book is a book even I go back to, because sometimes I read a line and then I get a very different point of view of how I should be processing or going ahead. So it's been, and what a topic, relationship of a guru and his disciple.
Beautiful.
It is. In fact, I remember when we used to sit for satsang in Empire Estate, and asi fatafat jaldi jande si, okay? Gaddi bhar, walk kya? I used to be literally charging, and Sati would say,
Printing, yes.
Okay, he would say, will you behave yourself? I mean, you're going to Guruji na, we all know nobody. I said, nahi Sati, aage seat nahi milegi, piche milegi. Okay, and again, anyway, besides Guruji, it's also the AC is on, aage piche na bahut garmi hai. And I used to feel hot a lot. So I used to be, and he used to hold my arm and say, okay, now be gracious, walk nicely. Go, sit down, make a place, apne bed ke jam gaye, waiting for Guru Sahib Ji. Agar andar nahi bulaya, to fir Guru Sahib Ji ke liye wait ho rahi hai. Guru Sahib Ji aate hain and pranam ho jata hai. And then, can you imagine Guru Sahib Ji sitting, like you have a gaddi there, Guru Sahib Ji sitting on the gaddi, and you have like 300 pairs of eyes just glaring at you in awe, or in love, or in demand. Well, that was Guru Sahib Ji's life. And I would sit, and then Mrs. Shori would come, Arun Shori's wife. And I knew, meri seat gayi. Okay.
Yes.
Auntie had a problem. So Guruji would go look, and I would mostly sit to the left side and not the right. I somehow prefer the left. Guruji go, "Ais tarah," and that means my seat is gone. Mrs. Shori would come and sit there. The minute Mrs. Shori used to come, I used to close my eyes. And idiot Sangat next to me would say, Auntie, Auntie. And I'd feel like telling them, Jao, So Guruji did this to me about 10-15 times na, and then I used to sit behind. अच्छा, आगे सीट थोड़ी चली गई तो पीछे भी सीट गई क्योंकि सारी जगह भर गई है. So you actually don't have a seat. Then I used to sit in front of the kitchen, which is the hottest kitchen door, the right side spot used to be mine, or the left side next to the cabinet. It used to be the hottest spot in the whole place. Okay. ये थोड़े क्या Mrs. Shori will come every time. So chance तो लेते थे ना आगे बैठने के लिए. So I got very upset one day in my heart, and I said, Guruji, you know, I come for you. I don't come for so and so. I don't come for so and so. I come for you. I want to be with you. I want to look at you. Yeah, I don't want anything else. Let me at least sit. तो एक दिन मैंने बुला के कहते ने गुरु अग वंगो होंदा है. That a guru is like a fire. ठीक है. जिन्ने पास बैठोगे या जिन्ने क्लोज होने की कोशिश करोगे तुसी जल जाओगे. जिन्ने दूर बैठोगे तो ठीक गरमैश नहीं मिलती. विच होना चाहिए ताकि ठीक गरमैश मिल सके और तुहानू सब कुछ मिल सके जो गुरु देना चाहता है. ओके, बोलती बंद. So we talk of my relationship with Guru Sahib, and I chose myself to be, after all, you know, I had this lady once sitting next to me who turned around to me and said, you know, I think of Guru Sahib as my father, as my husband. And then looks at me and says, husband, you know what I mean, na? She meant all the way. I was totally shocked. I just looked at her and I knew Guruji could hear. And I looked at him and I looked at her, and there was no judgment in his eyes.
Yeah.
She was allowed to choose whatever relationship she wanted, whatever kind of relationship she wanted. And that reminded me of Krishnji, how he went through all the gopis, what kind of relationship that is. So I realized how closed my mind is to what a guru and his disciples' relationship to be, and how closed everybody's minds are when the word sex comes in.
Right, absolutely.
So then I chose myself because I'm Mupat, and I am, since I was a child, I was a little motu, and my father used to call me Bamka Gola because I used to be a riot, laughing and, you know, going all over the place. So I decided I have to be a 3-year-old baby, because a 3-year-old baby can talk whatever they want, say whatever they want, and you will have the patience to make your 3-year-old baby understand what is wrong and what is right without beating them up. So I chose to be a 3-year-old baby. And how did our connect start? Sati and mine with Guruji. How did our relationship start? With Khushbu. Khushbu here, Khushbu there, Khushbu gaadi mein, Khushbu ghar mein. And we used to be like giggly-headed. First, we couldn't understand, but then we understood it's Guru Sahib Ji. And we would be giggly-headed ke, oh, Guruji ki Khushbu? What does it mean? What does it mean? But na, andaron khushi hondi si. Ke Guru Sahib Ji ne yaad kita, ya Guru Sahib Ji is with us. You know? Hoti hai, ab bhi hoti hai. Haan ji. And so, once Guruji was in a mood to talk, and Guruji was like, you know, मैं हर एक काम, what were the words he said? Guruji said कि I give everybody the same amount of blessings, ठीक है? But तुसी जितना मर्जी खिंच सकते हो खिंच लो. He said अलग-अलग टाइप दे बंदे आंदे ने, ठीक है? एक आंदे ने वो मेरा पोशाक देखते ने, मैनू देखते ने, मेरे आसपास लोग जो बैठे हुए वो देखते ने, ठीक है? They come for self. मतलब मेरा ए कर दो, मेरा ओ कर दो, मेरा ए हो गया, मेरा ओ हो गया, ठीक है? फिर I also deal with them according to their devotion to me, ठीक है? जितना सेल्फ, आप सेल्फ के लिए आए हो ना, देखो गुरुजी ने इतना सारा सब ब्लेसिंग्स चाह रहे हैं, पर आप तो सिर्फ सेल्फ लेने आए हो, तो आप सेल्फ ही उठा के लेके जा सकते हो. जो बाकी ब्लेसिंग्स जो लटक रही है ना, वो आप टच नहीं कर सकते, because your intention is only to take for self.
Right.
Then Guruji used to say, karmic log aate hain, karmic deaths means ailments, illnesses, sadness, depression, mental, physical, all these kind of health, family problems, ye sare aate hain. He says, then too, I look at your devotion, but I also see what your family's previous seva has been towards the gurus. You have to understand that we are praying to Guruji.
Yeah.
But Guruji belongs to a huge guru group or cult or whatever you might call it, souls together. And they are so together with each other that they will stand for each other and not accept you. If you have done wrong against any one of them, it goes that far. You know, there are people who come. There's this lady who used to come from London, and Guruji used to tell me, my husband wife nu properly bless kita hai, par ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ bless ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ. Then there was, because they had done something wrong against some son at some point in their previous lives, not this life, previous life. Then somebody from Empire State also, who were two boys who were very unwell. And Guruji, they came to Guruji and Guruji said, no, I cannot do anything for them because they have abused a son some other time. So one has to understand when Guruji says, do not take my name, say Pranam Guruji. That means you're doing Pranam to all the Gurus. He is so smart. Dekho, what is the thought behind Guruji saying, do not take my name? Pranam Guruji, matlab every Guru ki हाजिरी लग गई. तुम्हारी हाजिरी लगी हर एक गुरु के सामने और आपने प्रणाम हर एक को कर दिया. So the second kind of person I said is, Guruji said, is the person who comes for karmic debt. The third kind of person is the person who comes for me. He says that person has the toughest time because I will test the person, and I will crush the person. Okay, till I know for sure that the person, that Sangat is mine, andro. And once I know that he is mine or she is mine, then I let them go out in the world. Okay, I let them go out in the world and then I see whether they will still be mine. Guruji कहते सी ना मेरे कोल बेरी दा पेड़ है मैं हिलावांगा जो कच्चे ने वो डिग जाएंगे जो पक्के ने उन्हें पिसांगा. एंड लिंडा आंटी होती कहती थी गुरुजी फिर पीस के ना उनको पैक लगा देना अपने फेस के ऊपर. Linda auntie used to say that. It's so cute. These are the conversations we had. So yes, when Amrit started coming out of Guruji's Swarups in Empire State, then Guruji started saying कि मेरे फोटोआं विचों नाल गल्लां करो मेरी फोटोआं गल्लां करनगियां. Because a lot of Sangat, he would say, अच्छा तुसी ether shift कर जाओ, तुसी abroad shift कर जाओ, and they'll Guruji, how can we, we'll miss you. And Guruji said, नहीं, मेरी फोटो तुहाडे नाल गल्लां करेगी. That is how it is. Auntie.
A relationship between Guru Sahib and his Sangat is a wireless phone connection. One can be anywhere in the world, but the moment one's mind turns towards Guruji, he will know. On an occasion, Roma and we were out for lunch. Sati was upset and both of them kept talking in detail of their woes. Later that evening, Guruji scolded Roma and repeated the whole conversation to her. And she, in turn, the very next day scolded Sati in Guruji's tone. All that which Guruji had said to her. Amazing.
So, Sati was very upset. And Roma auntie was very upset. Toninos.
We had gone to the...
To the?
We had gone to the Bhiwadi site with Prem Singh uncle, and we had come back and we had gone to Tonino's for lunch.
Yeah.
And then Roma joined us over there.
Yes. So this is the conversation taking place. Sati saying, Guruji ne aise kiya. Roma saying this. Bow, 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 meow, 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 bow, 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 meow, meow, meow. At one point I said, listen, guys, I think Guruji is listening to us. They both turned to me and said, their eyes said, shut up. And they cried, bow, 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 meow, 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 bow, 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 meow, meow, meow. Okay? That day, they went back to Guruji, and Guruji कहते ने, गुरुआं दी कोई कदर नहीं है. गुरु तुहाडे वास्ते मैं कम करना आया. Tha. So that evening, Roma came back, and with the same tone, she went to Sati and said, Tha. And Sati says to me, देखो गुरुजी ने डांट दिया. Said, don't tell me. I had nothing to do with it. I warned you guys, Guruji is listening. तुसी दोनों फिर भी म्याओ म्याओ भव भव करते रहे हो. तुसी सोचना सी ना, opposite Empire State में और वो भी Tonino is right across Empire State, literally diagonally. So, oh yes, Guruji would get to know everything. There's nothing actually you can hide. In fact, now, once this lady used to come and she would sit with torn. Not torn, matlab घिसे पिटे kapde. And Guruji was very particular. Sahib said that everybody in the Sangat should dress properly. Gurwandi tor hondi hai. So everybody used to come, okay, like this. Makeup, shake up, lipstick, everything on. And she would come and she would say, Guruji, kahan, हम तो job में हैं, हम तो कहाँ ऐसे कर सकते हैं government job में. दूसरी दफा गुरुजी ने बात, तीसरी दफा आई है, तीसरी दफा गुरुजी ने कहा, तो बैठी हुई थी तो गुरुजी कहते हैं कोई नंबर्स रिपीट करने लगे, YZE 15927. फिर देख के स्माइल कर रहे हैं उसको नहीं समझ आई और मेरे को भी नहीं समझ आई, मैं तो पास बैठी हुई थी. तो फिर कहते हैं 7925 समथिंग समथिंग समथिंग. वो एकदम से चौंकने लग गई. मेरे को ये कैसे नंबर हो है जो गुरुजी मतलब एक नंबर न्यूमरोलॉजी टॉपिक बात हो रही है कि ये कैसे हो रहा है. देन द थर्ड नंबर वो गुरुजी ने बोलना ही शुरू किया, वो उठ के भाग गई एंड गुरुजी जोर जोर की हंसने लगे. ठीक है, ऐसे गुरुजी कहते हैं उसे स्विस बैंक अकाउंट द नंबर ने 3 स्विस बैंक अकाउंट ने उसको.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, can you
Oh
imagine?
my God.
And Guruji
Oh.
knew. No, worse was when this American lady came, she was new, and she was sitting, and hardly any Sangat was left, and she was sitting there, and suddenly she took out a photograph from her purse and goes to Guruji and says, Guruji, my husband. And Guruji abused her. Guru आंदा मजाक बना रखा है, तुसी कुछ सोचते सानू नहीं पता है, तेरा मियाँ बीमार पिया होया है, नर्स दे कोल छड़ के दूसरे मुंडे नाल ऐश कर रही है, ए कोई उम्र है ऐश करन वाली दी, तो अपनी ब्लेसिंग कराना आई है अपने इस नए बॉयफ्रेंड दे नाल. Oh God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Nothing can be hidden. Nothing can be
Yeah.
hidden. Yeah.
Like we say, no coincidences, right? It's funny you bring up Roma Auntie in today's chapter. One, the topic is very special, right? Because this is like जैसे कहते हैं ना, like an ocean. जिसकी depth we cannot even fathom. From where do you start about relationship and where do you end it? So there's no beginning, there's no end. And I have a special connect with Roma Auntie, and in fact she's part of my book. Because when on my birthday, I don't know if you remember this satsang or not, but I think Aapi ki guidance lekar, I had mustered my army daughter courage to give Guruji chocolates on my birthday. And वो डब्बा पकड़ाया और मन में ख्याल मैंने अपने बुने हुए थे कि बड़े प्यार से गुरुजी उस डब्बे को खोलेंगे, एक पीस लेंगे, फिर एक मुझे भी देंगे और आसपास संगत को बांटेंगे, बट ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. So बड़ी मुश्किल से छुट्टी लेते टाइम I handed over the box to him. And you know Roma Auntie, हमेशा आसपास ही बैठी रहती थी. So she was sitting अपना typical yoga वाले position में. And जैसे ही मैंने chocolates गुरुजी को पकड़ाई, ऐसे उन्होंने एक हाथ से ली, and he hands it over to Roma Auntie. And he's like, Tera prasad. And literally, Auntie, my jaw dropped, and the look of disappointment was evident on my face. But within fractions of seconds, he removes his juttis and he said, Ella chak tera prasad.
Oh.
I was ecstatic. Like I didn't know. और पापा मेरे पीछे खड़े थे, and he said, इसको अब उठा और अपने सर पे लगा ले. And I did exactly that. But, because you mentioned Roma Auntie, this came to mind.
No. See, you want a little gift, you got a bigger gift. Nice.
Yes. Yes. But I always remember as someone who took my chocolates.
Oh yeah, with chocolates, I'm very fond of chocolates. Very, very.
Oh,
so
yes.
Initially, वो छोटी chocolates आती थी, and then somebody who's coming from abroad would give these chocolates to Guruji के बांट दो. And one day there was hardly any sangat left, and I was in a particularly devilish mood, I must say. And Guruji ने वो बांटनी शुरू करी, और मैं लाइन में खड़ी होके देख रही थी, और कम हो गए, पता नहीं हमारे तक पहुंचेंगे भी नहीं chocolates. Okay, totally love chocolates to this day. And when it came to me, Guruji, I decided I'm not going to do this. I picked up my kameez and I did this.
Yes.
Okay, and Guruji threw one measly chocolate in it, Annie ji. And I uchhaled and I said, Guruji, joli dekho. Oh, Guruji is so cute. He pulled out the whole parath into my joli.
Oh,
And Joshi uncle, who was behind me, didn't get any. कहते हमारे को कहते मैंने कहा जोशी अंकल ले लो कहते नहीं नहीं हम तो गुरुजी से लेंगे फिर गुरुजी ने उनके लिए वो मिठाई मंगवाई प्रसाद के लिए. Oh yeah, we can
There's
go
another lesson in that. मांगने का ढंग भी आना चाहिए. And you had that. There's a very big lesson in that. हमारी सोच छोटी है. And you were like, let me not go by the book. I want something, so I should know how to be receptive to that as well. So thank you for this lesson.
Yeah, that through the stomach, truly through the stomach. हाँ जी हाँ जी. आगे पढ़े?
okay.
नहीं तो हमारी तो गप्पे खत्म नहीं होंगी.
Jumping to another incident of Sahib's ways was with Lieutenant General Dipinder Singh, uncle. Uncle had reached the Empire Estate with an immense headache. He asked Sudha Auntie for 2 disciplines, which she did not have. As the hall was full, he quietly sat down outside in the veranda, out of Guruji's sight. Dipinder uncle had great endurance for pain, so for him to ask for medication meant that the pain must have been intense. As time passed, a member of the Sangat bought Guruji's glass of tea for him. As he finished the glass, his headache disappeared. He walked inside to return the glass to the kitchen and turned to see Guruji with his head tied in a dupatta, complaining of immense pain. Uncle touched Guruji's feet with reverence. It's not a one-way connection. If a guru can hear you, then he will make himself be heard by you as well. He said, you have to leave the outside to go within, to hear me within you. I am there inside all my devotees. Over to you, Auntie.
Sati, you want to वो जो Mercedes वाला सत्संग था? I mean protection. I'm just thinking of that.
Before that, just take 30 seconds. Auntie, I was very fond of your dad, you know that. And you brought back some memories. And he actually fired the gun on my shoulder. I don't know if you know that. He called me up. We met, I think. And he said, Sati, इस तरह है कि गुरुजी कह रहे हैं बेटी दी शादी करा दो. तो वो तो हले पढ़ रही है कि ते मैं चाहना कि वो you know एक बार पढ़ ले डिग्री आ जाए उसके बाद
MBA कर ले. Yes. Yes.
You know, he gave me the whole
Yes.
this thing, and I went to Guruji in the next couple of days, and on his behalf I went to Guruji and I said, Guruji, General Sahab the phone आया सी इस तरह कह रहे सी और मैंने डांट पै गई. Guruji said, उन्हें समझाओ, you know, then whatever you said, that basically he said that time होता है एक चीज.
Right.
If she does not get married now, then her time is not there to get married. So पढ़ाई वो बाद में भी करती रहेगी. And so twice he has fired the gun on my shoulder, because then again he went me double check करके आ. And then again I went to Guruji. So,
he relied a lot on you. I know that. I don't know the details, but I am really aware of that.
We had a very good relationship. I had a very beautiful relationship with your father, you know. So so in 2001, Guruji got this brand new S-Class white color Mercedes.
Yes.
And the first trip, and within Delhi, he would use his Contessa, but this was a trip to Chandigarh, just before Chandigarh, Zirakpur ja rahe se, for a wedding function. So this was the first time the car was being brought out. You know, there were white seat covers made for it. beautiful. He told Bamby to make a flag. एक तरफ flag में एक ओंकार लिखा हुआ था, दूसरी तरफ ओम, and the flag was installed, and the whole shenanigan was done for the Mercedes. And the very first trip in that car, Guruji ne kaha, Sati tu chalayega. Okay. So we reached early in the morning. The car was parked at our house only. We were blessed that way. And so Bamby and I went early in the morning to go to Chandigarh. But we reached Empire State. Gadi laga logo ke andar jaake Guruji told us to have chai prasad and waited for Sangat, because whenever Guruji would go for weddings or functions, it was never alone. There was always a convoy of cars.
Yes.
So there were maybe another 50 odd cars that came, and then we started the journey. And Bamby mentioned in the last satsang, that we reached Azadpur. Guruji stopped. वो सबको oranges का प्रसाद, एक रेडी वाले से oranges लिए and सबको बांटे प्रसाद. And then we took off. We started towards Chandigarh. And 2001 traffic was much less than what it is 20 years later. So once we got out of Delhi, Guruji would say, Sati kili dawa, go faster. Guruji पीछे चौकड़ी मार के बैठे हुए थे, बेल्ट तो पहनते नहीं थे, and मेरे को डर लगे. And I don't drive fast anymore. I used to drive fast at one time, very fast. So, the car was capable, the traffic wasn't there. So we were doing 120, 130. संगत पीछे रह गई हुई थी, हम आगे निकल के चलते जा रहे थे.
Yeah, and there was Sudha Auntie and Guruji.
So I was driving. Bamby was sitting in front, Guruji was sitting behind, and Sudha Auntie was sitting behind me in the passenger seat. So there was 4 of us in the car. And just before Panipat, it's a double road. I'm sure all of us have been on that road. From far, I could see this dog crossing the road. Okay. And अब मेरे को पता कि मैं जोर की ब्रेक मारूंगा तो गुरुजी को लगेगी, because he was sitting चौकड़ी मार के. और so I had no choice, but I started slowing down the car, but I bang on, hit the dog. Okay. And stopped. गुरुजी से की होया, मैं कहता हूँ यार जी, कहते गड्डी नु की होया, मैं गड्डी ठीक लग रही है. We started the car, all lights came on.
Oh God.
All possible warning light that could come on came on. So I parked the car on the left side, thoda sa aage jaake, and opened the bonnet, and the radiator, it was a very low car. I mean, it was literally this much from the road, So the radiator was made of aluminum, so it had bent into the fan and everything. So I said, Guruji, it'll take time. I'll call the mechanic. So Guruji then, I think, sat in Prem Singh uncle's car, Bamby. I think he sat in Prem Singh uncle's car, and he went ahead. And he said, Gaddi theek kara ke tu aa jai. So I called up Patel Auto, and to cut a long story short, they came, they fixed the car. I reached Ambala. Guruji told me to wait in Ambala, and then we came back together. But that day we realized later on कि उस दिन बहुत कुछ बड़ा होना था. मतलब that accident was meant to be something far worse than what it was. I mean, nobody got a scratch. Nobody died. Yes, unfortunately, that dog passed away. But no human life took place. There was no accidents, no damage. And we really, really feel that day Guruji blessed us. Something massive was supposed to happen, and Guruji ne us din hamara cut kar diya. I think anything beyond that in that, Bambi, if you want to add, I don't know.
No, even I feel that it was some kind of protection, because some life obviously had to go, and the animal took on whatever Guruji transferred, whatever. That's what I feel. There's no proof of anything, but the way things happen, it felt like काट हुआ है, बहुत बड़ा काट हुआ है. उसके बगैर तो पता नहीं क्या हो जाता है.
New car, he tells me that, you know, you will drive. Out of the blue, I'm driving. He's saying, go faster, go faster.
Oh, go faster, किली दबा, और किली दबा.
And then this happened.
गुरुजी वो सारे पीछे रह जाएंगे.
And like Guruji always used to say, and Auntie just said it also, okay, there are no coincidences.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Anji. Let's read.
He said that my true followers would always hear me within them. But there are rules to this as well. He said, anything that you hear from your left ear is not to be listened to, but something in your right ear is your guide, and within the center will be me. He said, पहले कोई गल्ला नहीं करदा सी, मन तो गल करदे सी. Namely, in olden days, people used to converse telepathically rather than through spoken words. He said that was the purest form of communication, and in years to come, his true Sangat would be able to communicate with each other telepathically. Such are the standards set by Guru Sahib for his Sangat. Hanji, Auntie.
So a lot of some of the Sangat asked me, what is telepathy? What is this that people keep talking about? We are telepathically connected to Guruji. So it is very simple. Guruji said that everybody is a bit of my soul. My soul is in all of you. And they have the ability to communicate with each other. Not only you and Guru Sahib Ji, but you and you also. So that is the ability that is there because they are already from one source. Therefore, they are already connected. Now, how did Guru Sahib Ji started with me? How to depend on, I might call it intuition, instinct, consciousness, telepathy. These are all the same things. It all started with dreams. We were in Punjab. We were living in Rimple Auntie's maiden home and Chehal Auntie's house. And that night I couldn't sleep because I was sleeping on a folding bed and I was finding it very uncomfortable. And the kids and Sati were on the main bed. And all night I kept twisting and turning. So next morning, when we went to meet Guruji, Guruji says to me, "Ke अच्छा तू तो इतनी गाड़ी नींद विच सोंदी है." मैंने कहा नहीं गुरुजी मेरे को तो कल रात नींद ही नहीं आई. मेरे को I didn't want to tell him I'm uncomfortable because Guruji put us in that house. I said नहीं नया बिस्तरा सी ना मैनू नींद नहीं आ रही सी. So then Guruji says नहीं मैं तेरे सामने नाल खड़ा होके बोल दे रहा बेमी बेमी. Okay, he would never call me Bamby. Okay, but he said ਤੁਹਾਡੇ parents ਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਨਾਂ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ Bamby ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ Bemi, it's all that B and M and E is a khichdi. Okay. मैं कहता रहा Bemi तू उठी नहीं. And I was new, so I said, no, Guruji, you were not there. So Guruji takes out his finger and says, याद रख, अगर मैं तेरे सपने विच आवां, तो मैं साक्षात तेरे कोल आया होया हूं. और जो भी मैं कहंदा हूं, वो तू कर. And I kept quiet. So okay. Then after that, Guruji came to Delhi, and one day we were supposed to go ahead of time. And that evening, afternoon, I must have taken a nap, and I got up and I said, you know, Sati, Guruji ने कहा है चाट पापड़ी लेके आओ. मेरे को सपने में आया ऐसे कि गुरुजी ने कहा चाट पापड़ी लेके आओ. तो Sati is very time का पक्का, and we were running late. So he says, no, I'm not going to go any chaat papdi. I'm not going to go according to your dreams. We are going straight to Guruji. We have to reach at such a time. We have to be there on time. So I said, okay, chalo. So we reached there. पीछे के कमरे से हम अंदर आ रहे हैं. Chotu starts off, आंटी आप चाट पापड़ी लाए हो? गुरुजी ने चाय नहीं पी, वो तो वेट कर रहे हैं कि बैम्बी चाट पापड़ी लेके आ रही. Then somebody else next door, चाट पापड़ी, next door चाट पापड़ी. I just turned around and glared at Satya. उस दिन तो हमारी लड़ाई होने वाली थी कि अगर गुरुजी ने ऐसे बोला है, so obviously I should have got the chaat papdi. What are you doing? So after that, I started understanding that if Guruji is coming in my dreams and whatever Guru Sahib has said, I must do it. Then Guruji used to tell me, "Ke tu apne andar sundi hai?" So I said, "Yeah, I mean, all discussions take place inside ना. जब गुस्सा भी चढ़ता है, प्यार भी आता है, सब कुछ सारी डिस्कशन अंदर ही चलती है ना. तो yes, of course, I listen to. कहते नहीं, तो सुनती नहीं है. तो सुने ना तेरा नेचर चेंज हो जाए. मैं कहा अच्छा है ना. So he would say टेस्ट करया कर, तो सुनती है कि नहीं. So what I decided to do was, when I would see a light and we are approaching this the traffic light, I would think, acha, is it going to be red, green, or yellow? So whatever the first thing that used to come to my mind, I used to put it ahead. But I realized I was thinking and then deciding what color was going to come. I realized that even before my question finishes, the answer that I get, that is from within. That is your consciousness. But one has to train oneself to listen to that particular answer, because it's never what you want. 99% you will want something else and your conscious will want something else. Guruji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ, body ਵਿੱਚ ਦੋ ਮਨ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਨੇ. एक मन which has all the 5 bad guns and एक आत्मा. Okay, आत्मा की आवाज धीमी होती है और जो मन की आवाज है वो लाउड होती है. Okay, so we all tend to listen to the logic that is running in our mind, but actually life doesn't have that much logic. It runs on a very different run. So when you talk about telepathy, it is something you have to train yourself. Or consciousness, or listening to yourself, you have to train yourself to listen. And you actually need to become silent inside to listen. And how do you become silent inside? You have to first go inside and accept that you have done this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, and this wrong. You have to accept yourself first. Okay, this is the sin I've done. This is good I've done. This is bad I've done. This is what I'm thinking wrong. This is what everything that is good and bad, we don't face ourselves. We don't, it's a mirror which we don't want to face, because that is the only way you can come in front of Guruji and be absolutely naked, because there's nothing to hide in that nakedness. And I'm not talking physical nakedness. I'm talking spiritual nakedness. So telepathy is something over time. Hanji.
What you're describing, Auntie, is I think it's about tapping into your knowing.
Yes.
This is a concept that has been explained also in a book called Untamed, and it touches upon this specific topic, that the art of being able to silence the noise within you, because we are often so consumed by that and we think that that noise is the intuition. It's not. You really, like you explained, with time, you have to learn to tap into the knowing, and all the answers lie within us. But it's hard. Boy, it's hard.
You have to understand that, okay, when you meditate, okay, if you actually think about meditation, and what the way Guruji has taught meditation is actually you do the verbal diarrhea first, because you got to empty out your vessel. You got to empty out of the verbal diarrhea before you start your mantra. But your mantra is not Om Namah Shivaya. It is not. It has to be slower, where you actually listen to each word, because you have to slow your system down. Once you slow your system down, okay, is then when you start hearing other things. You get the ability to hear yourself more than anything else. And why do you need the ability to hear yourself? It's because to survive in this world and the world that is coming, you have to hear what your consciousness is telling you, because it is going to guide you to be here and not to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. That is one place where Guruji cannot help you. And Guruji was very clear about it. Guruji, when Pilot Uncle died, I said, Guruji, how can it be? And Guruji said, एक चीज मेरे हाथ विच नहीं जो रब दे हाथ विच है, which is wrong place at the wrong time. And that you don't want to be there. So when you start listening to yourself inside, it will tell you what to eat. If you sit in front of food and with nobody else, you will feel an attraction to certain things. You will not feel attraction to certain things in your food. But we don't want to listen. Our mind says, that looks tasty, let's eat this. This is not good for me, this is fattening, let's not eat that. But the day
ये
you
दिल
stop...
मांगे chocolate.
Yeah, मेरा दिल मांगे chocolate. Yes. So, yes. और राशन करके खाते हैं. So one has to actually listen, slow down.
Yeah.
And things like WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook, they actually make your mind go faster. Okay, ye nahi acha, next. Oh, nice. Let me
Such a
just watch.
plague. It is such a plague, and we are all so engulfed. At least I can speak for myself.
No, everybody is.
And thanks to these satsangs and a little bit of awareness that's coming around us and within us, I think we're able to catch ourselves a little bit more. Otherwise, when you sit down to meditate, I see my mind just wander, and then it's like, is man ko khojo bhai, and then you go and reel it back in, and then it stays for a few seconds, and then it goes again, and you keep doing this.
Yeah, you got to make a halo on top of you and let all the thoughts rotate, because they're not going to leave you. And in the center, then you make your dream world that you're going for a walk with Guruji and you're yapping and you're doing this and you're doing that, and that is meditation. Meditation is not just doing your mantra. Meditation is even if, okay. And one day I was just sitting, these past few weeks have been an experience for me also, because I have remembered things that, like you said, you don't remember things on a daily basis, and things just keep popping up. And one day I was just sitting and smiling, and Sati says, what are you smiling at? I said, I forgot something. And then I told Sati, once in Empire State, Asrang Guruji ne bulaya kehte beja. Okay, beja, but do not touch me. Next auntie he pull out, and auntie ko bola, hat daba. So the auntie is dabaing, and Guruji's full conversation with the other auntie, and I'm totally ignored, but I've been told to sit next to him, so I'm sitting. And I said, Guruji is not going to give me attention, so what should I do? Let me just do part. I mean, that's the only thing I can do now. Listen to the kirtan, do part. So there were flowers lying there, and I started taking out one petal and just doing Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, like this, and putting one petal on his foot. And then Guruji turns around to me and says, Acha jaake langar lagwa. And I realized Guruji didn't get to know what I've done. So I just took all the flowers and did this on his feet. And I got up and I turned around and looked at him. That look Guruji gave of love. He realized what I had done. But I just felt one up on Guruji. But anyway, so meditation can be just that. Yeah. You don't have to sit and meditate like a hermit. It can be just talking to Guruji. Yeah. And your mind will slow down. And when you can't sleep, meditation is the best. When you're stressed, itna kuch ho gaya, jaake baitho, Guruji ke samne bolo, ugalo, sab kuch ugalo, till you can't think of anything else to ugalo, then maybe when you sleep, you will get sleep. Lie down when you will get sleep. It's beautiful relationship. You can meditate and be with Guruji in any form. Yeah. Do paintings, anything. Auntie. So that's what Guru said. She said that my actual Sangat will have the ability to communicate with each other telepathically. And that is a gift that will be for all of us. Auntie.
Today, 4 years into Guru Sahib's Samadhi, we see his presence at all his places of worship. He has appeared in the big mandir where the Sangat has photographed his presence on various occasions.
Hanji, this photograph I think we shared before also. You want to share again, Sati? When we saw Guruji after जब गुरुजी ने नहीं जब गुरुजी ने छोड़ा ना, I'm sorry, it just came up in my mind.
Take me time to find it.
हाँ जी, आप ढूंढ
Was it
Give me a minute.
2009 by any chance? 2009, 2010?
No,
2007.
when Guruji decided to change his chola, then after
Yeah.
all the functions, everything
You're
was
talking about
done. Then one day, Sukhi Auntie Island Wali was calling all of us, कि आजा, where the jhula is. Why is the jhula
Right.
important? Right? So there, it used to be a plain glass, not the fancy glass. It was a plain glass. So when you would be sitting, you could not see Guruji. But when you would look in the glass, you could see Guruji sitting right there. That is after Guruji decided to change his chola. So it's like a very hazy picture. It's not a very clear picture. But can you see the person who's taking, I think thoda chota kar dein so that there's some more clarity. So you can see the person who is taking the picture. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's taking off the glass. And can you see Guru Sahib Ji in the middle? It's a mirrored glass. It was that glass that was that would
Reflection. Yes. Yeah.
glass.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you can see
Yeah.
Guru Sahib Ji in the middle, and we are bilkul piche. You can't see us, and so everybody could see Guru Sahib Ji in the jhule ke piche, but when we looked at each other, we could not see Guru Sahib Ji.
I want to say something similar happened because I had gone back in 2009 and
Acha.
early 2009, and it was the same thing on the jhula, where we could see Guruji sitting and cell phones came out and people started taking pictures, and it was the jhula. That's
It was
why
a
I asked,
jhula.
as it was, yeah, it
You
was the
must have,
jhula.
like the jhula starts moving. Like
Yeah,
when
and
Guruji,
you could actually see a silhouette that, you
Right.
can't deny.
Yes, you cannot
So,
deny.
yeah,
That is exactly how it is.
yeah.
Auntie.
Which take place all over the world, Amrit flows out of his photo. His fragrance fills up the rooms. Om appears on rotis and inflames the diyas. In Guruji's room in our home, we have witnessed his seat, hand and foot impressions on his gaddi on separate occasions. We are truly blessed with a Puran Guru. Jai Guruji.
So in our old house, I think we did the satsang last time also. We would get appearances of impressions of hands, and I would just clear it out because I didn't think it was Guruji. And then feet, and I would get angry at the Paiji that why are you putting Guruji ke gaddi ke par your hands and feet to chado and clean the 10 Guru ke photos? So you cannot be doing that. But it was, in fact, the day he did not come, the Paiji, and there were hand impressions. That is when I actually realized that Guru Sahib Ji would come and do also. The thing is that I very coolly say that we all say, "Hame Puran Guru mila, hame Puran Guruji mile hain." But Guruji is all about the soul, and we are all about the human experience. So we end up repeating certain experiences again and again. So it's very important for all of us to look for patterns in our lives. Okay, there are definite patterns. You're going to be going through a certain thing again and again, and same format. You're going through it again and again because you're missing the point. You're not learning something. So instead of just flowing through life, it's very important to look at when you feel stuck inside. Go back in your mind, look at formats, see what is what you're missing out. And there'll be basic things like basic things. Do not lie, do not kill, do not steal other people's properties. My basic hote na components wo hi normally hote hain. I mean, Guruji, yes, Guruji is very benevolent. Guruji gives us at least 3 chances every time. And I say 3 chances because when we were in S block, this lady brought a jailer woman there. And this jailer woman, and Guruji didn't like her. Guruji did not like policemen and teachers. He was saying, wo bina baat mein logon ko daante hain. ठीक है? And he said that he told the person who was bringing this person कि उसनु ना लाई वो ठीक नहीं हो सकती. But this संगत insisted कि गुरुजी वो मेरी friend है उसको please ले आओ. उसके ना पैर टूट गया है, उसका पैर ठीक नहीं हो रहा है ये पुलिस वुमन का. She was in charge of some jail. and she was a very strict jailer. So when she came to Guruji, Guruji said, ठीक है, इस दफा मैं ठीक कर दियांगा, पर मैनू वायदा कर तू बिना बात विच मारेगी नहीं लोगां नू, ठीक है? वो वैसे ही तंग ने जो आए हुए थोड़ी जेल विच, उन्हां नू मारना नहीं है, पक्का गुरुजी पक्का, ठीक है? A couple of months down, another message came कि गुरुजी ना उसकी टांग ना टूट गई है, ते प्लीज फिक्स कर दियो, वो कोई फिक्स नहीं कर पा रहा, तुसी फिक्स किया लास्ट टाइम. एंड गुरुजी said मैं तो नहीं करने वाला, ये बिना बात विच मार दिए. She gave me a promise and she did not keep the promise, so I'm not going to do. So the Sangat ji was after Guruji, please, please, please karke. And which is surprising because normally Guruji does not adhere to these kind of pleas. And Guruji said, chalo le aao. So the second time this jailer lady came. And इस दफा गुरुजी ने बड़ा डांटा, हम सारों के सामने बड़ा डांटा, तू ए कर दिए, तू ए कर दी, तू लोगों ने मार दिए, तेनू कोई भी रहम नहीं है, वो वैसे ही ऊंजी इन्ने दुखी ने अपने आप तो उत्ते होर भी लगी रहंदी है. So then Guruji fixed her leg, and after a few months, the third time, the message came, and Guruji said, "तू भी दफा हो जा, ते उसनु भी नहीं आन में देना." So 3 times, we do know that Guruji did not. Guruji used to tell me, because once I asked for. No, I think I should tell the other satsang. Yeah. Once we were sitting and Guruji told me, Raghbir uncle बैठे ने, उन्होंने satsang सुनो. So I went to listen to the satsang, and Raghbir uncle had already started the satsang, so I didn't hear the whole satsang as that. And Raghbir uncle was telling how this gentleman came to Guruji, and he was the younger brother, like 2 brothers mein younger brother tha, and married, very well-to-do, and he fell in love with Guruji and would want to do seva, want to do this, want to do that, and Guruji said, "मैं तेरे से सेवा नहीं करा सकता, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता." And he would say कि Guruji क्यों? He said कि तू अपनी तेरी भाभी दी किस्मत विच इन्नी गरीबी नहीं लिखी सी, तू उसदा you've taken her wealth away, and so she is living like a poor person and you are living like a king. You will first have to go and ask maafi from your bhabhi, and then I will take care of you. So he goes, and he was really truly in love with Guruji. So he goes and goes to the bhabhi and asks for forgiveness, and she said, "ठीक है." Okay, and he comes back to Guruji very happy after a few days. Now this is Raghbir uncle telling us all this. So then Guruji said, "ना ना ना, ए माफी नहीं, कहते उसकी किस्मत गरीबी नहीं लिखी, ए तो तू उसनु गरीब बनाया, उसनु जाके जो उसका हिस्सा है वो जाके दे क्या, फिर तू माफ होएगा." So then he mathatek with Guruji, went and gave the money. He was filthy rich, that's what I understood. Went and gave the money, and then Guruji accepted him. When I asked Guruji for revenge, because I was upset about something, Guruji said to me, "के तेरी गोदी देख कितनी छोटी है, तू मंगेगी revenge तो कितना कर लेगी?" I can't do, but I can tell you now that I want revenge. Says, "No, you should wait for God's revenge." I said, "No, God goes too slow. मेरे बस की नहीं है. मतलब आप बोलो ये lifetime, next lifetime, वो तो मैं रुक नहीं सकते. You are here. You are my guru. You take my revenge. You give me justice. I have not done anything wrong. You give me justice." So he said के ठीक है, तू देखी चल रब दा revenge किस तरह होता है. Then Guruji explained to me that this is the format. This is format like the way the world runs, according to Guruji. When a person does not do things right, if they don't do what they've come here to do, what your intention or what you have promised you will do, you will be picked up. You'll go straight to heaven or wherever. Take it. That is first. Secondly, Guruji said, जब बंदा जो करन आया है वो नहीं करता तो रब भी उसनु warnings देंदे ने. ठीक है? Suppose it is the man who's bad and the woman who is all right, and he has a has a successful life, whatever. So what the divinity does is they make the wife bimar. Okay, so when the wife gets bimar, that means बंदे की जो lifestyle चल रही है, जो भी है वो हिल गई, वो नहीं चल सकता, ठीक है? कहते ने फिर भी अगर बाज नहीं आया, then we will pick up his wife. Then the wife ਅਸੀਂ ਮਾਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ, we take it away. वो फिर भी बाज नहीं आएगा, तो उससे बच्चियां ਨੂੰ अलग कर देंगे. बच्चियां ना, बच्चे के साथ is different. Bachas can have good karams, so not necessarily the bachas will get picked up. बच्चियां ਨੂੰ अलग कर देंगे. फिर भी नहीं ਬੰਦਾ, ਅਗਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਕਦੀ ਨਾ ਕਦੀ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖੇਗਾ. So if you see anybody going through this, whether it's husband taken away, wife taken away, evil person, whatever, you can understand divinity is at play. The divinity is going to be working itself. So connection with Guru Sahib Ji cannot be done with ego. We can't have an ego. I mean, he is beyond us all. But for Guruji, ego is a very big lesson to be taught to all of us. Guru Sahib Ji ने गद्दी पे बैठने से पहले अपना ईगो चेक करने के लिए I know I've said many times, but it's just what's coming to my mind. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. That अपना ego check करने के लिए उन्होंने, he worked as a servant in a house in Bombay where the lady had a very bad temper, and Guruji said nothing to her. So in life we all are human, and Guruji says mango nahi manno, but we all need, we are human, fair enough. हमें ये चाहिए, हमें वो चाहिए, जब दर्द में हो, दुख में हो, दुआएं चाहिए तो मांगते हो गुरु साहब जी से, and Guru Sahib Ji will give you that carrot. But the kind of human you become after you get that is where your test is, because then Guruji will lift you and drop you, and lift you and drop you, because ego is the biggest place, and the big mandir and the sevadars are the biggest test you're going to have. Any sevadar anywhere, because your ego is going to get tested. I've been through it, can see it, it's very clear to me. Every time a person becomes a sevadar, yeah, it is a very difficult path. It is Guruji's gracious love for us that he cancels out so many of our karmas by making us do seva. You are not getting seva because you are so and so. You are getting seva because you are that idiot who did such bad karams that Guruji needs to sit and polish you up. So why the ego? So in Guruji, you cannot be a one with ego. Guruji was very clear. When child, that old people in any family are like an umbrella. And old people in any family, does not realize anything bad coming on the family comes on them. Their souls take it. So that's why old people, you will see, fall more ill, break more bones, have more problems. Well, you're perfectly all right. And you can't understand, my mother though is getting trouble all the time. My father keeps breaking his bone. Something keeps happening. It's because unknowing to us, but the souls know, they are taking on a lot of themselves. And it's very important, because this is verbally Guruji said, कि तुसी बैठ के उन्हां दी सेवा करोगे जिस तरह तुसी मेरी सेवा करते हो. And that really changed my attitude and really changed my format of thinking, because if Guru Sahib Ji is coming in the form of an older person in my house, then I have to look after him. So there can be no ego in any way. You know? This is too big a chapter to be spoken about. This is too big a chapter to just finish in 1 hour. But I think we've touched all the main points that were written. And Uncle, what beautiful shabads you played, all pertaining to this chapter. So thoughtfully done. Thank you so
Yes.
much, as
Yes,
always.
Bamby Auntie, all the playlist, we try to prepare the playlist as per the topics in these sessions.
That is, Uncle, chalo, you are a very devoted person, and thanks to Guruji.
Guruji ki kripa.
He is near on you.
Can you hear me, Auntie?
Yes, I can.
I must, with the questions that your dad had, the puzzlement about your sister's wedding,
Yes,
फिर उन्होंने
yes.
गुरुजी का आज्ञा मान के उस टाइम पे immediately शादी करा दी. Within I think 6 months she got married, if I remember.
Yes, 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 yes.
गुरु मतलब उन्होंने पूरी आज्ञा मान ली गुरुजी.
Yes, Auntie.
Maybe
Guruji ke
maybe
dham
hard
Guruji
for
jaane.
yeah.
No, I think this was food for soul. So thank you so much to both Bamby Auntie, Sati Uncle. We got an opportunity to relive those, I want to say, golden moments, and I personally never get enough of that. So thank you for brightening my morning here. I could not have asked for a better start to my Saturday. And you answered so many questions. You were talking about telepathy and everything. Believe you me, I was thinking to myself, I was like, my God, here I roll out of my bed looking like crap in my PJs. And there you say, Guruji ke aage tor nikal kar, suit pehen kar ye. And I was like, thank you, Guruji, for the reminder. These little things, every word that you were saying, it was like in some way, shape or form, like a thought particle. And there you answer. And और जैसे जैसे आप बोले जा रहे हो मैं अंदर ही अंदर बोले जा रही हूँ thank you Guruji, thank you Guruji, sorry Guruji. So but this is great, and I feel so blessed for this opportunity. Shukrana to Guruji and shukrana to you both, and of course this multilingual platform. Stay blessed everybody and stay connected to Guruji.
Thank you, Aarti, for the wonderful, both the Aartis. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you.
Uncle.
Jai Guruji.
Shukrana. Jai
Shukran.
Jai Guruji Maharaj. On behalf of Shukrana Guruji Maharaj, the multilingual Sevadar team, we thank you all, Sati Uncle, Bamby Auntie, Aarti Singh Auntie जी, Aarti Kapoor Auntie. मैं आपको आरती कपूर बिटिया कहता हूँ हमेशा. So
Call me whatever, doesn't matter.
So we'll request hosts and to take Agya from Guruji Maharaj and